Look, I've been next up for years. I'm in limbo. I'm guessing that the big execs and get the memo. No shot, so I got an extendo. It came with a switch on the shit like a Nintendo. I ain't playing with nobody, day and night. They told me I was too damn humble. They was right. So I don't give a fuck if you broke, you gon' pay the price, cause niggas is really sleeping on me. Now say goodnight, name a rapper you think is hot. Never. I don't give a fuck who they name. I'm way better. Yeah, that's how I feel right now. I'm way cover. Cool like Mayweather, but move like Mayweather. Floyd. Rest in peace, George. We annoyed. Void. Anybody that's sent to destroy you. They bomb Kyrie and disrespect his honor. Meanwhile, we saying pay as a Jeffrey Dahmer. Like, I don't get it. But I'm going to mind my business. I ain't got sick being and lose. I play my position. Please. I ain't trying to spark attention. But if it was a Donald Goins book, they would have missed it. But I'm daddy, that's the way we staying. Mezcal margarita, keep the ladies craving. Too drunk now, I'm angry praying. Ended up on my Xbox, she like, what type of games you playing? I'm like, Halo, bitch. You are much like a potato chip. Anyway, I got dough like a Play-Doh kid. Bringing G's to the unit when I yayo flip. Look, all the fake ass love, yeah, I heard that. They talk behind my back, I don't deserve that. They said, I said, what? Where you heard that? If you want my trust, you gotta earn that. You gotta mind your business, that's law. How you worry about the next man? That's pause. You heard funny shit about me? That's false. Unless you heard I rap, trap or did. Look, he say, she say, we gotta end that. It's grown ass men talking about how they friends back. I don't commend that. I think that trend wax, seen a nigga cross everybody just for 10 racks. He thought he was destined to win. 2 months later, he was begging again. Look, stay away from negative friends. They can always hold you back when you better than them. Look, and stop posting niggas on their birthdays. Cause if they die, you gonna post them on their worst day. Grieving on the internet stress. But when they was here, you ain't even send a text. Sway, these niggas getting too loose. I need answers. Fuck it, I'm about to interview you. Hey, yo, Sway, thanks for all the motivation. Right. Appreciate you. Thanks for coming to the station. We live on Shay. How you feeling, my brother?
Great.
Yeah, I know. We see you killing, my brother. How you feel about niggas still killing each other?
I hate it.
Cop a brick but won't build with each other. Nobody want to keep it real with each other. He killed them. They used to chill with each other. Look, make you want to hurt the fake. Ain't nothing worse than hate, but we gonna hear more after this commercial break. Ignore the hate when you too popping. I made more runs than a used stocking. Anyway I'm at, I get the mood rocking. And I brought my own bag like I'm food shopping. This that so raspy shit. Your wife saved on my phone under nasty bitch. Cause she my little nasty bitch. Ain't my dick in the UK almost crashed the whip, bro. I got my name up because of rap. With a chopper moving trees like a lumberjack. Wish I could bring the homies and my mother back. I love this rap shit. I'm about to bring the hunger back. What you have? Me no man.
Big food phone on that site. I have prices at
What's up, y'all? What's up, y'all? It's the legend coming to you live from the 215, the concrete jungle. What's going on, y'all? How y'all doing? What's up, Keeper? How you doing? My opinion, me and mine's people in the cloud. Hit the like button, please. I appreciate it. Yo, has that situation settled in with y'all about those YouTubers? I see a lot of comments going on about it. And it seemed like, to me, it's like people had an attitude like, yeah, what's up, Zara? How you doing? Like, yeah, that's what's going to happen if, you know what I mean? It's the sense, people are desensitized to this kind of stuff, yo. And people don't believe that those events can really happen on real time. You know, my suggestion would be to stop playing with folk like that on some real, you know what I'm saying? If you value, but I realize that, in so many words, folks come on here and they tell you they ain't got shit to lose. Real talk. So now let me get into why I'm here. I want to talk about this school to prison pipeline situation, man. That's something that always, because I know how it, I know the origin, or you know what I'm saying? The origin for me is slavery. We got to go all the way back there, because when the slaves were freed, right? They ain't had nowhere to go. They ain't own nothing. They didn't have anything. So there was no more free labor on the plantations. So a lot of the plantation owners would allow the slaves to either stay and work the fields and so they could have a place to stay, and a lot of them were, master's children anyway, so they were allowed to stay on the plantation. But for the ones who tried to go out on their own, the ones that were out on their own, in order for there to be labor, because, with slavery, that was free labor, they had to find a way to get the laborers, you know what I mean? Because they used to coming from years of having free labor, So they started making these laws. Like, I think the first one was vagrancy. They knew that, these freed slaves didn't have a place to go. So they made up the law called vagrancy, and they would arrest them indefinitely just for the labor. That was a way of getting laborers. Then they got into the, that was only applied to us, the reckless eyeballing. Yeah, absolutely. You get locked up for reckless eyeballing, put you on the chain gang, how you building, making big rocks into little rocks, you know what I'm saying? And so this system has always been in place, but over the years, they've enhanced it. They've enhanced it, and that's and let me tell you how I see that. It's like, back in the early, I'm gonna say maybe 60s and the 70s. It wasn't when somebody got like a young youth, a juvenile, got arrested or committed a crime or something. They had reformatories, places called reformatories, reform schools, and those were the pipelines then. They started doing statistics, mostly in the lower income, neighbor school systems, and like they started making those. You ever had the class where they just said those were they were bad, you know. They used to call the school I went to, they used to call that class the ER class. You was in ER, that means you was a bad student. You know what I mean? Y'all was on the 3rd floor, so, you know what I'm saying? But they were the kids who winded up in the youth detention centers, and you didn't have to be like a bad kid to wind up in a youth center or something. You know what I mean? Then they started, you know, with the alternative schools. You know, all these are just breeding grounds and giving them numbers on how many adult prisons they're going to have to build. You know, then they started getting, you know, all right, you get arrested as a child, juvenile. I ain't gonna say a child, you a young man, you get arrested, and the system is designed to keep it, you know, keep the cycle going, because recidivism is what makes the prison it makes it profitable. You know what I mean? In and out, in and out. And they need help with you just can't do that. So they have to, like, you catch a case. Not no major case, something small. So they send you what they call, they get, you know, you have the right, you get your Mirandas. If you do not have an attorney, one will be appointed to you. The same people that's arresting you and charging you and is going to hold your fate in your hand, they're going to give you somebody to represent you. That person is not there to represent you. That person is usually there to, a public defender is usually there to make you cut a deal. Probation. Come on, let's cop out to this probation. We'll plead that we'll get a lesser charge down. Instead of a grand theft auto, we'll give you 3 years probation and break it down to driving an unauthorized vehicle. Okay. Boom. So you don't know the system. You take the probation. You know, now you're in the system. That automatically puts you in the system. You know, and you think, oh man, 2 years, you wind up catching another case, you know, another small case, and that violates your parole or your probation. And now you're in prison, you know, and that thing, it became so lucrative. That why do you think they were just locking juveniles up and they started the certification law? Which now, after what, 50 some years, they had to change it, the law, and say it was unconstitutional to lock a child up and charge him as an adult. But a lot of these juveniles that they locked up as adults are coming home and they're in their 50s and 60s, 40s, because they've been locked up so long now that the law has changed. But that juvenile law was enacted just to get them in the system, the certification. You know, now we can get them into the adult system, because that's where the money is made, because we're back to the free labor. You can look and see how much money prison industries make. Prison industries is one of the top, you know, in the stock market. Everybody invests in prison industries. Why? Because it's a lucrative business. And now with the privatization, you know, we could build more prisons, but we have to be able to fill these prisons up. So we got to find a system in order to get our free labor. Yeah, industry. That's what it is. It's a human labor industry. That's what prison is. And we're getting it early, because now not only do they put they start looking at how many prisons they need to build by the statistics of the junior high school kids, you know, and that's by the ones they consider aggressive, and like that. Yeah, this many is aggressive. It's 20 of them. 9 of them. Going to wind up in prison, and that's how they do their statistics. And they only do it in our communities. We are still the slave labor for the prison industries. You know what I mean? And it don't matter. Like your favorite uh, celebrities and athletes are now investing in prison industries. Yeah, they're investing in prisons. You know, Shaquille O'Neal and all of the Floyd, all of them, because you got to look at it as a business. If you're a businessman, why you know what I mean? Like as a businessman, if you're into that business, you're going to make money in prisons. So you know what I mean. But the way they do it, it's almost like a setup, because we know that it's hard for a young black male to walk around on papers. You know what I'm saying? It's and then it's no longer prison reform. You don't go in prison and get reformed anymore. When I went in prison back in the 80s, when I went to prison, a lot of guys and we were able to get go to school. A lot of guys were going out. I like, yo, where you going? I'm going to the graduation. They would actually take guys out the prison to some of the most prestigious colleges in PA, and they would walk down the aisle and graduate and come back into jail until they start taking those programs out of the prisons. They started taking out of the prisons. You know what I mean? So people go in there now. It's really like almost back to the slave labor thing. You could go in there, you could become a master plumber, carpenter, electrician. You know what I mean? You could you know what I'm saying? You could come out of there and not have to go back. The recidiv, you lessen the recidivism rate when you able to go in there and accomplish something and come back, and you able to, you know what I'm saying, maintain yourself. But that messes up, the jing, the economy of the thing. So they want you to come back. They want you to keep coming in the revolving door. You know what I mean? That's why they start you off light. You keep committing a whole lot of petty crimes. They give you some probation here. Next thing you know, they got you little county jail. You do your little county bid, but you got this tail of probation on you, parole. Now they got you set up, because as soon as you violate, they're gonna ship you right to the, where they can start making money off you at. And now, when everything was, basically free when I was going in there. Phone, you get on the phone for free. Now, if your people don't send you no money and stuff like that, you can't use the phone, because you got to buy phone time in there now. And some prisons, they make you pay for your, like, if you got to go to medication and stuff like that, they make you pay. They make you pay. So in order for you to pay, you have to work. You know what I mean? See, you could hustle in the jail all day and just go to school. You know what I mean? But it's getting, and then we got the shout out to Khalid Muhammad. All right, pray. Yeah, he nobody, that's why they got rid of the brother Khalid. Khalid was like, I always say he was before his time, and yeah, we got to talk about him one day, Keeper, because he's one that people don't talk about. I think they scared to talk, because people were scared to even be in Dr. Khalid's presence. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. But they got to set up. They got the youth set up now. if they don't say that you have these violent tendencies or whatnot, they say that you have what ADHD, and they always they give you these false, like, yo, Dr. Umar is not wrong when he says that they be false, diagnosing the young black boys in these schools so that they can wind up getting them in prison. And then they hit you up with that in there. You get in there, ain't no, if you buck the system too hard, they'll turn you into a zombie. They hit you with some, what's that, Thorazine. They hit the guys up with the Thorazine, and he'll come out like a robot, You know what I'm saying? And they do that to a lot of the younger guys, because they be so aggressive and rebellious and they don't get it yet. So that's why a lot of young guys be going in and they come out different because, yeah, they be shooting them up in there. And, back in the day, like, they might give you like experiment on you. You know what I mean? I remember they had, this was before my time, but in the prison that I was in, a county prison, they had did that syphilis thing with a lot of the inmates in that prison, Holmesburg prison. You can look it up. Yeah, and that's what they used to do. They experimented on a lot of. They used to use the black inmates. Yeah, they would. Yeah. And if you look at it today, it used to be 17 to 21, then it became 15 to 17. Now it's like 11. They be locking 11-year-old kids up. You know what I mean? You see like it's like the younger they're more prone to, the young mind is prone to, it's like the sponge. It's easily, they're gonna suck it up real quick. That's why the things they giving them, it's not to enhance them mentally. It's the, almost like put them at a stagnant, you know what I mean? And then how you think it's just because that all these guns with switches on them came into all these urban communities during the same time they dropped this new genre of music called drill music, and all the young black, you know what I'm saying? And that's like, drill music is just being disrespectful to your ops. And y'all see that here on YouTube. I call a lot of these YouTubers wannabe drill rappers. Spitting on graves, pissing on all that kind of, you know what I mean? Just overtly disrespectful. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, that school to prison pipeline is getting even, it's right there in our face, right? And we see it every day. And we also, a lot of people are like, they don't know, like, you got to go to these schools. You got to see what's going on in the schools these days. You know what I mean? Because, like, I remember when I was in school, like, it was almost like if they put you, the tension was like after school jail. They was already programming like they're doing now. It was already like pre-programming you step by step for the big house. You know what I mean? You start off in the bad classes in school, you wind up in the reform school, the juvenile detention center, county jail, state prison, federal prison. That's the cycle. Then you got this I've been out of prison I maybe 30 some years. Last time I seen of somebody prison cell, you know, because I did enough in there to know how to keep myself up out of there. You know what I mean? You know, I knew enough how to get myself up out of there. You know what I mean? Because everybody don't make it out of there. You know what I'm saying? Like you see what they do. They watch these movies and they listen to this music. Mikey, what's going on, Mikey? How you doing? And they listen to the music and they think, yeah, I'm gonna go in there and I'm gonna kick my feet up, and you gonna wind up like a guy like Tory Lanez. You wind up like a, rough, tough guy like Casanova 2 times. He got over what 200 stitches in his face when he winded up in one of them joints. You know what I'm saying? So you ain't guaranteed to come out with your life in those places. You know what I'm saying? And they going in there younger and younger, ain't even, what I mean, had an opportunity to experience manhood in no way, shape, or form. And now you find this kid behind bars. He's finding himself behind bars, because of this, not because he's a criminal. It's because there's no reform. There's nothing, like they taking all the programs away from the kids. We had to almost fight people just to get a couple dollars so we could have some programs for the summer. You know what I mean? For the youngins. You know what I'm saying? But they have no problem putting up many police stations in your neighborhood. You know what I mean? Like you could have took that money and gave it to some of these youth and just, drop them off at a park and have them, pick the trash up in the park for 4 hours a day, every day. Instead of, you want to build a deterrent, because, hey, I'm going to tell you, man, me and my wife riding down the street the other day, we going to the store. I hear the sirens. I panicked. I know I did nothing, but I've never, ever in my life had a pleasant experience with those people. You know what I'm saying? It just don't come off right. That's why I try to avoid them at all costs. You know what I mean? Not funny, it's a real syndrome. What's that? Yeah, it's this form of PTSD. It's it's definitely a form of PTSD. So what y'all think about that situation, y'all? So M3, she says she has mixed feelings on it. And like far as like you see the that was an ongoing situation, it'd be like that, legend. The fuckers get behind my car. I have heart flutter. I have to calm myself down. Facts. And I know you ain't done nothing, Keeper. They just make, I mean? I'm not nervous. It's just unnerving when I hear them sirens behind me, or they pull me over, and I know they, I mean, there's no reason for them to pull me over and things like that, But yeah, that is they were feuding on YouTube, striking each other's pages and all that. And see, that's the thing. Like, it's obvious that boy, his wife, they didn't take it serious, because from what it seems like, they were in his city. They were in his city. You know what I mean? Yeah, like I know it's different, situations for everybody, and people, move differently. But man, he got him, he like that's 3 bodies, you know, 3 people lost their life, and I don't even know if them people had kids. We ain't even thinking about the you know what I mean? Because this is something that's gonna be like in the news for a minute. Like they just, you know what I mean? That's what I'm talking about like people will tell you how much they got to lose by how they move on here. Right, ain't did a damn thing. It's a bad situation, worse than I thought. Yes, yeah. They had children, not see. And the thing about it for me is like I I I I get it. I understand that I can see that happening. What's up, Clark? Clark, how you doing? I can see those type of things happening. Vibrant, what's up, Vibrant? How you doing? Good to see you. I can see those type of things happening. You know what I mean? Because everybody like everybody got a point where, you know what I'm saying, everybody don't think for every like these days and times. I tell my son all the time, like, yo, bro, when you out there, you gotta think for this. You gotta be the one that think for the niggas, even when he's, you know, a person is, you know, on some bull. You know, you gotta think for him. You know what I mean? If you know what you capable of doing. You gotta think because they don't know. What's up, Carrie? How you doing, Carrie? Good to see you. They don't know. They don't understand that people don't know what they're dealing with until it's in their face, till it's right there in their face. You know. And look, yo, you know what was the most astonishing thing to me? The last words that came out that lady's mouth was, "Are you kidding me?" How many times have we heard that? Are you kidding me? Your last words over something that happened on YouTube. So are you kidding me? And that's what happened. And then you have people saying, yeah, you come, yeah, if I catch you in my city, that's what's going to happen to you. You ain't never done it before. I don't understand how people think it's, you know what they say about when you take somebody's life, all you do is, they with you now. They don't go nowhere. They might wake you up every night if they want to. You ain't gonna never forget that. So I don't understand how a person who probably never even hunted an animal think that you gonna just, unless you got a little mental illness. That's why we gotta be out here thinking for these folk, because a lot of these folk got mental illnesses.
I do.
Yeah, I mean,
I ain't trying to be rude.
I mean,
I'm just speaking my mind. Like, seriously, I have mental illness.
Yeah.
And that's why I leave people alone. Because I don't like to be that misery loves company. That is not a true statement for everybody. Go on, be miserable by yourself. That's it. I'm sorry. Please continue.
Yeah, I get it, but we're not talking about people who
No.
go to therapy and they not just on YouTube is therapy for some people. Some people can come on YouTube and use it as a therapeutic way of, getting through things. But mental illness doesn't correlate with committing violent crime. At times it does. Yes, it does. Carrie Ann. Sometimes people are mentally ill, and that's the only reason why they would commit a violent crime. If it wasn't for their mental illness, they would never do that. You know what I mean? Like the worst, like dude knew what he was doing. He said he knew what he was doing. He went there to do that. I may be wrong. I could be. Yeah, I could be wrong. but I believe, because I've been around a lot of criminally, what they consider to be criminally insane. And being around those people, if they weren't labeled or had been diagnosed as having a mental illness, they wouldn't have committed the crimes they committed, because there are some crimes that only a mentally ill person could commit, like a Jeffrey Dahmer. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that I could be wrong, but that's not the point I'm trying to make. The point I'm trying to make is you never know what type of person you're dealing with. Sure, you could come up, Carrie. Give me a minute. You never know what type of person you dealing with. You know what I'm saying? Like emotions play a big, especially with men. When men are emotionally unstable, yeah, I consider that. I'm not a doctor, but I consider emotional males. I consider that an illness, a mental. I think that's a mental illness. I think that when you premeditate a crime, that's different. You know what I mean? That means you are ready to accept and deal with all the penalties and consequences that come with your actions. And I don't think Bohr was ready for that. What's his name? Manny. The police reported that Manny is delusional. I figured something was wrong with him. I don't see, just like, yo, what's going on, Propane? I don't see a person just, stalking a person down like that. You know what I mean? I ain't, you know what I mean? Now, if you come with the same energy, but them people didn't look like they had that kind of energy. I had seen the interaction that they had with him before, where he had to pepper spray the lady, but he pepper sprayed the. I'm trying to figure out, like, if see, I don't. That's what I don't think they really understood that everything is not for play. Everybody is not for play, And for me, right, that's the first time I ever seen dude. Hearing him talking and how I say, yo, that dude, wow, he's a weird. You know what I mean? He a weirdo. I wouldn't put none. You know what I mean? I wouldn't put none past that. So I wouldn't even set myself up to have to defend myself against a joker like that. Because a guy like me I'm gonna defend myself. Oh yeah, I'm on that, man. I'm a defend. What you say? You on that, man? What do you mean by that, Propane? You on that? Yeah, man. What you mean? Now, I'm in my city, right? The way I move around, right? If you got that kind of smoke, you can have whatever kind of smoke with me. It's not what I got for you. It's what you got for me. I'll match whatever you got. So if you run down on me and that's the kind of smoke you got, be prepared to get that back. If you come down on me and we can, I'd rather we get it. I'd rather we rectify the situation, because it's not going to end well if we don't. You know what I'm saying? Violent situation and picking and aggravating a person, you don't know what might have happened to, the trigger a delusional mind, a person that's already suffering a little bit. There may be people living with mental illness and they aren't going around a lot. That's a fact. It's a lot of people. Yeah, that's absolutely a fact. That don't give you a right. It don't make you right. You know what I'm saying? But you're more likely to do some shit like that with that illness. Temporarily insane, they still use that. You blacked out, huh? I know about the back out, but I don't think they can use the temporarily insane joint no more. And when did he become temporarily insane? Because when he was in the police station, he had a story concocted. You know what I'm saying? He had a story concocted. His story was dude had something. He seen dude pull something, and he seen a shiny object in the lady's hand too. That's why he shot her. But when they show him the film, that's when he asked for his lawyer. You dig what I'm saying? So that tells me right there that damn, it's probably setting in what he did. It's probably starting to hit him. You know what I mean? Well, he better get. I don't see attorney. The best an attorney could do for him is keep him off of death row, because that's a death penalty case. That's 2 counts of first-degree murder. That's death penalty. So what they gonna have? I could see him taking a deal for life in prison. He act like a racist skinhead driving around. Well, that's one of he remind me of one of them Mexican gangbangers and shit. he about that life, you know? Yeah, he was acting all, you know what I'm saying? Chuvato, yeah, I'm coming for you. He probably has some racist undertones in him. He probably has some, but yeah, you still gotta move accordingly when you dealing with these people in here. I would never go nowhere knowing that I got a problem with us. Well, not these guys, because these guys not I can't use me. I can't use me. I can only use me as an example in my own city, because I don't see a person that's stupid. Why would you be that stupid to come to somebody's city to fuck with them? That's stupid. That's stupid. You're looking to get yourself hurt. You're just looking to get yourself hurt. You know? Carrie, I'm about to drop the link for you. It did. Yeah, I ain't going to nobody city looking for no smoke. You know what I'm saying? I ain't going nowhere looking for no smoke in nobody's city.
But you welcome here.
You know what I'm saying? I ain't on that type time. These people don't move me like that. What's up, beautiful? How you doing? And to the stage. Carrie, can you hear me?
Yeah, hey, grown man.
What's up? How you doing?
I'm good. Thanks so much for having me up. This is my first time on here.
Absolutely. So what's on your mind?
Well, thank you for letting me speak, because normally I just come over here and listen to you talk.
Oh, really? I didn't know.
But this is so important to me. I really just wanted to hop in. So thank you for giving me some room to cook, because I know something about this, and it's really important to me. That and this is not my opinion, this is a fact. This has been proven by study after study after study. Having mental illness does not make people more likely to commit violent crime. As a matter of fact, the opposite is true. Having mental illness makes people more likely to be a victim. Way more likely.
I could agree with that.
Yeah, so a lot of times, like, and even in this scenario, it's real easy for people to be like, look at the dude that was talking crazy in his car, like clearly he had mental illness, and I'm not disputing that. Hey, Propane.
What's up, Carrie? I'm glad that you fucking back. Go ahead, get your rap on.
Okay, yeah, but the dude that was taunting him probably had mental illness too, and that's what people always forget. Yeah, go ahead.
No, you go. I agree with that. I don't. In order to put yourself and your other in a situation like that, you can't be thinking on. You know what I'm saying? So
right.
Continue.
And so, yeah, so it's important to remember that it's really the reason why this is important to me is because people thinking that people who have mental illness do crazy things adds to the stigma of people not wanting to admit that they need to get help because they don't want to be labeled as somebody who might do a thing. And it's important to remember it's a difference between being mentally ill and being evil.
Yes.
And it's true that it's very much true that if you go somewhere like a prison where a lot of people have been convicted of a violent crime, there are going to be more people in there with mental illness than in the general population.
Yes.
But the vast majority of people with mental illness have stuff like depression, schizophrenia. Schizophrenia people almost never attack people. They almost always get themselves fucked up acting weird. And so it's just like, it's they end up getting attacked because they're vulnerable, or they like doing weird shit and they get fucked up, or they're schizophrenic, so they end up homeless. So them being homeless makes them more likely to be a victim. So while it is true, people can do things because they have mental illness, that is super rare. Most people that have mental illness are not delusional. They just wicked. This Mexican who attacked this dude, whatever bipolar he got, because that's what it seemed like he got just from looking.
Isn't that an illness though?
No, hear me out. He's seen bipolar or something. I'm just talking shit. I'm not no doctor, right? But it's a million people that's got bipolar that don't have a chip on their shoulder that make them want to go kill somebody. So it's not the bipolar that made him do it. It's the wickedness. So yeah, he bipolar. So when he was killing somebody, he was acting weird. But it's way more people that's just killing people because they wicked. To me, you can't blame your mental illness unless you literally not in your right mind. Plenty of people got depression. Plenty of people got bipolar, schizophrenia. Like, unless you don't know what you're doing, that's your own wickedness. It's not fair to put that stigma on everybody else that just got fucked up.
TMK.
Go ahead. I'm done. Yeah, go.
No, I was just talking to TMK, saluting him in the building, in the chat.
Oh yeah, that's all I wanted to say. And you see what I'm saying? Why it's important.
I absolutely understand where you're coming from. And when I be talking about like mentally, I usually be talking about the criminally insane, not the bipolar.
And I agree, but that is such a small percentage. And you know, to really put in perspective how unfair that is, even to take the criminally insane, which is like less than 1% or 1% of the population, an actual indicator of who's most likely to commit a violent crime, the most reliable indicator is poverty. It's poor people. That's a fact. That's a fact. But see how unfair that is? You see what I'm saying? Right. You feel me? But if you was going by the statistics,
you can't say that because I don't think like the church, the Vatican Church commits crimes for profit and out of poverty. Like crime, we talking crime or are we talking criminals?
I'm talking about violent crimes specifically.
Crime doesn't have anything to do with poverty or where you come from.
You hear me when I'm saying violent crime though, right?
We're talking none of that has, because you might just kill for money.
Right, but the most indicator,
not because I'm impoverished. That's just my job. Like in the army, they kill for money.
Right, but that's not classified as crime. So what I'm saying is people who commit violent
crime because of the fact of how they label things. Anything could be labeled a crime depending on who's depicting it.
Yeah, that's a separate conversation. You didn't bring up that point when we were talking about mental illness.
I mean, we're not really having an all-out general conversation, Carrie. So anything.
Okay,
good.
Go off.
No, you good.
No, I mean you raise a good point, and I agree with you on that, right? But if you just go by the statistics of who commits violent crime, that's like considered crime, by the standard definition. It's poor people that do it the most, and I think you would agree with me that that's definitely not because of their poverty, right? Like
it's because of the environment. What you saying?
Or they circumstance, like they need money and shit, right?
I could get that. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
And even though that correlation is actually based in facts, it's still so unfair and puts such an unfair stigma on poor people. So it's like even doubly that for mentally ill, because it's not even true that mentally ill people commit crime at a higher rate. So it's just kind of a
I would say depending on your mental illness.
No, I totally agree with that. Yeah, the vast majority of mentally ill people don't have
it's
that
a
type of
range.
Yeah.
Mental illness is a range.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So,
and that's why I came up here. Exactly.
You may be talking about the people on the low end. I'm always talking about the ones that will murder you.
Right. And you can understand why, because millions of Americans have mental illness. It's really problematic to like use such a broad term when it's like less than 1% of those people fall into the category of like murderers.
Yeah, I get you. I get you.
So I'm not even coming up here to like
No, I appreciate you coming up. And I you gave me some information that I didn't know. Like you said, I was wrong. And I agree, I was wrong, but I also know that we are looking at things from
you're not 100% wrong. Yeah, it's more like an opportunity for me to throw out some facts. Exactly.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah. And I try to do this every time something happens. And it's like, yeah, it is always true that the person who committed a violent crime was mentally ill, but what's actually always more likely is that the victim was.
Okay.
So, yeah. And thank you for letting me speak my little speech. I feel so
good. Anytime, Carrie.
Thank you. Peace, right. Propane. Thanks for having me.
What's up, Propane?
Chilling, Wolf, man.
Damn, what happened? Oh, I got you.
Yeah, you fucking up and shit. No,
yeah, I ain't too, that's the thing.
no, I got let me see. I think I got like 2%. So I'm gonna tap back in and shit if my phone's out. But no, what I was saying, I was on that Manny shit. I know what you're talking about because I caught that shit when it first. Like the 6 hours when people first started YouTubing about it. I'm like, what the fuck going on? A YouTube killing?
Yeah.
Homeboy was in his will, like, why y'all ain't tell me my
And that's what I like. I be trying to look in the nigga eyes and like, is this nigga there? He wasn't there to me. He wasn't there to me. You know what I mean?
What I seen was a nigga that was from out of town that he couldn't touch right around the block, come in his town, and he showed him what it was, despite all his dressing up like fucking Joker and Caribbean.
What they call him? One of them street performers?
I'm still researching. I'm still doing my research.
I tell you, he was a street because him and the chick had beef before. He pepper sprayed her.
See, I ain't know all this.
Yeah,
and how long you planning to be live? Well, oh shit.
I'll be here about an hour and a half. I'll be here for a minute though. Yeah, I'll be here for a little more minute. Just tap back in, bro. I'll be here. Yeah, he probably going. Mikey, what's up, Mikey?
Chilling. You was talking about the thing of the happening LA or Las Vegas
and Vegas.
Oh yeah. This is what I tell people. I always tell this to people on YouTube, but it goes one ear and not the other to people. Just gotta be careful.
TV.
You just gotta be careful, man.
How about you just leave motherfuckers alone on YouTube? How
about that too? But
can that be more simple?
Yes, but people are ignorant these days. They're not gonna listen.
You can't do.
You know what
ignorance I mean? You see what ignorance get people though.
Yeah, that is true, but people don't listen. What they say: hard head makes a soft ass. Right? You know what I mean? The more you tell people, it's like they're being hard headed. So it's like,
I mean, no, it's not, because you can if those two people were able to see each other every day, and you know what I'm saying, the situation would have been totally different. But when you're talking about a person coming from, all we doing is arguing on the YouTube every day, all day. When I see you out here, if I'm not, you know what I'm saying, equipped to handle certain type of situations like pressure, things like that will happen. You know what I'm saying? And who's to say he was right? I'm not here to be saying somebody was right or wrong. I'm just saying that don't believe that it can't happen to you.
That's a fact. That's a fact. Are you speaking the truth?
And to avoid that, for me, I wouldn't bother motherfuckers on the internet.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That is true. That is true. That is true.
Not to a point where they, you know, they're gonna want to, you know, I know it's probably people who feel that way about me at this point, you know what I mean? But that's near here and there because I can't compare myself to, I'm not using myself as an example in none of the situation. You know,
yeah.
You know, I'm using what really happened. You know what I'm saying? That really happened. You know, 2 YouTubers been beefing for a couple years, and he caught him in Vegas, and he boomed him, and his wife.
Caught him lacking,
sleeping, slipping, playing.
Crazy. You know, that's what I say. People think shit is sweet. Hey man, what do I know? You know, what do I really know? But you know, like I said, you know, people want to argue on the street, on the YouTube, all this, all that. Saying, I don't know. I don't know. People want the docs, all this extra stuff. You know, not knowing. You know, we don't know what other people's capable of doing these days. You know, we just don't know.
No, here you go.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Hold up, Mikey. Go ahead. What you want to say?
This all I want to say. Like what Grown Man was saying earlier about people having mental illness, the conversation that kind of brought him and Carrie together right before I took that little break. What I'm saying is this: mental illness is not an excuse to come online and cause trouble in people's lives that are just here to be entertained or do some entertainment. However, we are susceptible to losing it. And what I mean by that is you can either take it from one extreme or the other extreme. You can fall all the way back and leave this shit alone, or you end up on the news like Manny. And, you know, rest in peace to his victims. But at the end of the day, I don't know what was all in the middle of that. I just know what I observe every day being on this app.
Right. And
it's not healthy.
And if he got mental illness, he a victim too, right?
He said he was going to kill himself first.
Woo!
He said
no, he didn't, did he? He said that?
Yes.
So, yeah.
Yes.
I don't think stable-minded people think about doing anything to themselves. Yeah, she went to get the camera rather than run. I think that was an instinct, Vibrant. I think that was some instinctual shit. Yeah.
It's just, you know,
I don't think when she said, what she said again? Are you serious?
She said, are you fucking kidding me?
Are you fucking kidding me? He had already shot her husband.
Damn.
Then she couldn't believe she was done right there. And then I don't understand how she got shot in the back, right? Keeper, she got shot in the back, right?
Everybody ain't playing.
I always say that. I always say that everybody not playing. I always say that, man.
And then
yeah, I always say everybody.
Playing.
Everybody's not foreplay. And
that is true.
That
is true, man. Everybody's not for play, you know. But
okay, when she turned to get the camera, that's when he hit her in the back.
So busy
okay.
filming.
But you know, people think that shit. People think everybody's sweet. People think like I don't know. People think everybody's sweet.
Yeah.
The majority of people on this YouTube streets, they think everybody's sweet,
See, and then like
right?
if you ain't got if I don't a gunfight without a gun, that's not fair to me.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like if you know I come from where like if I run down on you and you ain't got no gun, then I ain't going to use no gun on you. You feel me? What's up, Truth?
No,
What's going on? I don't come from unless you know what I'm saying, it's under some other circumstances. But if me and you beefing, even if me and you just beefing, and I catch you out there and you ain't strapped, I ain't going. Why would I shoot you? You can't defend yourself. I might embarrass you, but I'm not going. You know what I'm saying? You know what I
nah.
mean?
But I don't know if that's true. But there was an old saying. They said the streets does not have no rules. There's no rules in streets.
Well, where you when? See, that's the problem.
It goes. It is.
There always it's rules to everything, bro.
I mean, there's rules, but in the streets, there's no rules.
Yes,
It
it
goes.
is. That's why you young guys are dying at the rate you're dying at. That's why you young guys are becoming junkies at a rapid rate. That's why you young guys are
But you know what? It starts in the house first.
because you don't play by the rules.
It starts in the house. It starts in the house first.
Well,
Starts in the
then
house.
if it starts in the house, you shouldn't. It shouldn't. How you get in the streets? Because it's
Lack
always not the
lack of
household.
parenting.
You can know, brother. No,
Lack
no.
lack of parenting.
Your parents can't do nothing once you're outside in them streets. I know this for a fact. I deceived my parents didn't know what I was doing when I was out in the streets. I didn't bring the streets in the house because I knew my parents didn't approve of that. You know what I mean? Everything. I used to go to school in a suit and tie. When I get on the goddamn subway, I take that shit off and put it in my book bag and look like the rest of the niggas. But when I got back home, I had that suit and tie back on. It ain't always your parents, bro. We can't cop out and blame that shit on your parents because once you reach a certain age as a man, you should know right from wrong and be ready to deal with your penalties and consequences. But you don't because you've been breaking the rules.
Mm. I could see that. I could see that, but then you got some parents that do take care of their kids.
Very unfortunate, Vibe. That's very unfortunate. Yes. Hey, Mikey, you once you got no choice to take care of kids once you have them, bro.
Yeah, I know. I know.
Right, Keeper. Your parents can only take you so far. The rest is up to you.
That is true. That is true. But at the end of the day, your parents always find a way to bail you out or some fuck shit.
Yeah. I mean, your parents always are there for you, man. No matter what I ever done, you couldn't tell my mother I did it.
Yeah. You know what I mean? But the streets is real, man. I don't know. Hey, I don't know. I don't know.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
just
You study center, Glen Mills, Slayton Farm, Cornwell Heights. Shall I go on? Lima Detention Center. Like, yeah, that's all those youth joints that they had in place for young guys who might have truant, stole a car. They put you in places like that. And those are truth. No, they breeding grounds for the penitentiary. Breeding grounds for what you think about that, Mikey? What do you think about the school to prison pipeline thing that is going on?
I mean, it's kind of crazy. It's weird. It's weird all around. You know what I mean? It's weird all around.
Hey, Keeper, me too. Because if my son was out here violating other children, yeah, I ain't gonna condone that. He's out of here. Flagrant 2, you're out of here.
Yeah, no, that's a fact.
Some niggas stick their chests out knowing that they raised those kind of children.
Man, lucky me. I told my kids about the streets. What's real? Feel me? Streets ain't got no feelings, man. Streets is
It is.
it
It's
it it is what it is.
yeah. It is what it is. You
Feel
know.
me? Either you're gonna fall victim to it or you're gonna have the mentality
I
and
mean,
say, no,
some
this
real
is
shit.
not me.
If you really in the streets, it's nothing in there for you but prison, death, or you're gonna be crazy junkie. You know what I mean? That's the only thing the streets give you. You're
I
gonna get
mean,
one of the three. You're going to get one of the three. You're
nah,
going to.
facts.
That's a
Right?
fact.
Right? Right? People, right? I forgot what was this. People said, oh, I never seen kids do this and do that. Watch The
Yeah, it's
Wire.
vibrant. I agree with that 100%. They responsible for molding the character. But you know, like for me, right? I just was I had issues as a young child. Like I was I was an old child. I always been an old guy. Even when as a young, I did what I never was able to relate to my age and kids younger than me. It was always the older. So I was my character, I had a character already. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's hard to explain at times, but I grew up in a religious household. You know what I'm saying? And like, but I was always attracted to the street life. You know what I mean? Not the streets. The street, it's a difference. It's a difference though when people be like the streets, you run the streets. No, it was the street life. It's a lifestyle. It wasn't this shit they do now. You know what I mean? It was different, you know. It was always principles and people had they did things out of print. It was a principle to everything. You just didn't do things. People didn't die for nothing and stuff like that. You didn't, you know what I mean?
Nah, but you watch The Wire, right?
Yeah, I watched The Wire.
Now you tell me, right? That shit is deep. The Wire, right? It's
Yeah,
deep.
I mean, what's so deep about it?
Nah, like I take some of it
Mm-hmm.
and I see some of it adapt to the YouTube streets.
Mm-hmm. And that's see, you know,
You,
it's
you,
like
you know what I mean? Because if you watch it, like
it's not it's a depiction of real, but that's not real. You in order to really understand and you had to be there, bro. You have to, if you wasn't never there, I can only give you a depiction of what it's like.
mm.
You know what
Because
I'm saying?
like I said, I'm an 80s baby. So, back in New York, in the Bronx, she looked like World War II type shit.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
I seen a lot of shit. Like she looked crazy back in the day. Looked crazy. Just crazy. You know what I mean? So I seen a lot and I know some shit.
Because a lot of people come from homes that don't be, you know, but they once they
Mhm.
get to an adult, you know what I'm saying? And that's what it's when you're an adult, you know, you gotta accept, you know, your own penalties and consequences for your actions. You know what I mean? Whether
Mhm.
they be right or wrong.
Oh,
That's what people
facts.
people don't accept that they're you know, they don't accept their what they do these days. They don't, you know what I mean? Especially a motherfucker do something on YouTube, he don't have to accept it. He just wait till you do something back to him so he can be a victim. And like I was saying last night, that victimhood stuff, that's a sign. When men are like that, those are weak men. Men who want attention and cry about what somebody did to them just to get attention. Those are weak individuals. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, but you know what's crazy? I believe you in that. But you can't sleep on those weak people. You
What you
can't.
mean?
You
What
can't.
do you mean
You
sleep
can't.
on? What you
You
mean?
can't.
What
Okay,
you
a
mean?
weak person is more dangerous than another person type shit.
So what are you supposed to do about danger? What do they tell you to do with danger? If you think if you see imminent danger, what do? You avoid it, right?
Yeah,
So
you
you
avoid
avoid. If
it.
you think a weak person is dangerous, then why not just avoid them?
But some people can't. Some people
Well,
can't
that's the
can't
because
can't, can't, can
you don't have
avoid
no
that.
discipline to avoid danger. You don't have enough discipline to avoid danger.
I
If
mean,
you feel
people
like
do, people do, but you know, like they say, stay away from certain weak people, because
hey, that's what I just said.
I don't sleep on a weak person.
Chat
I
lives
can't.
matter.
Like, you know what I mean? I can't sleep on a person. If you put them in the corner, you don't know what they're capable of doing.
Why would you do that?
I mean, I'm just saying that in general. In
No, I'm
general.
just saying for real, for real. Why would you put a person that you know is weak in a situation where they're going to have to lash out, like a mouse or a rat or anything you put in the corner is going to lash out?
No, you're right. I don't know. Because I've seen a lot. I've seen some shit. You know what I mean? When you put a nigga in the corner, he'll do some shit. I see some shit. I ain't gonna say it, but you know, I see some shit.
That's why I'm trying to figure that out. Why would you do that? Why would a person do that? You must be a little weak yourself if you can't walk away or get yourself out of a way of a weak motherfucker.
Mm-hmm.
So that shows a little something about yourself. After you catch on to how a motherfucker move, you should be able to move accordingly.
No, that's a fact. That's
Got
a
a
fact.
skedaddle. Thank you for coming past, Vibe. I appreciate you. Have a good one. You know, Mikey, we got to stop confusing YouTube with reality.
But you
Sometimes
know,
we
but
try to
no,
merge the two.
I understand where you're coming from, but you see that in all social platforms.
That's what I'm saying. We got merged. These are social platforms. They're not reality. That's not your reality once you turn it off. Is it?
That's facts. That's facts.
I want you to you gotta make the distinction between what Mikey's trying to say to you. He's not really
You know what I mean? Because you know, you see a whole bunch of killing in every social media platform.
Okay.
Niggas
Mike,
said, I'm over
I
here,
just got a clarification. Mike, I
and
just got
then his
clarification.
ass get popped.
You wasn't
Cause
talking about a weak person.
want to
You
be a
was talking
clout
about a
chaser.
coward.
Or I don't know.
That's a
Feel me?
coward that if you push in the corner,
You know.
if you gotta be
Shit,
careful.
hold on.
Cowards,
Can you hear me?
they'll shoot you in
Can
your
you
back.
hear me?
I see you now. You okay?
Can you hear me?
I hear you now. Yeah, I see you too. You know you got your camera on.
You can hear me? Oh my shit, they didn't just.
They done lost their
my shit didn't
goddamn
go
minds,
crazy on me.
Keeper. Yes, they have. YouTube is a video telephone.
Hello, can you can anybody hear me?
Reality.
I want to make sure.
Okay, I don't know.
let him roll.
YouTube is a
Oh,
video
y'all can hear
telephone.
me? I didn't know that.
If the phone reality, then
Because I can't. Can I hear grown man? I can't hear him.
Okay.
Tell Mikey to come in.
Come back in and go back out, Mikey. Because I can hear you. I can hear you, Mikey, but you can't hear me. Yeah, but if you look at it, the dynamics of that situation, you know, you the way this, you know how black folks are, you know what I mean? You might see more of this stuff because a lot of this pumps a lot of people hard up. They think, you know what I mean? Yeah, somebody did it. That ain't the reality. Because a lot of ain't even gonna be able to handle the aftermath of what comes after that. It's consequences for booming a person, right? I don't think none of these YouTubers can handle it, especially at the age they are. You know what I'm saying? Because they don't make the prisons like they used to. They're not accommodating anymore. You know, they're not accommodating.
Something. Hold on.
So they ain't crashing out. They really crash dummies.
You don't feel like that video hit close to home?
No.
I mean, for me,
Yeah.
it was eerily on time, Keeper, is what I was back here trying to say. Your video was eerily on time. Cause I just kept imagining before the video played, because it was a lot of talk about it. And the video kept coming up. And stuff like that is really hard for me to watch. I don't watch the news like I should. I get the news from people who watch the
Facts, Keeper.
news.
It's a microcosm of reality.
So what I was trying to say is, because I've been chilling, we've been just like living life, like I said. And I was just like contemplating, let me just go back to what I was doing and not let this YouTube stuff interrupt me again. But I can make $1 on here, you know?
Yeah, that don't I don't.
It applied to me. What I'm saying.
Yeah,
I'm saying the Keeper is when her video came up.
I was just like, wow.
And the manner that she did it in.
I've been said that. I've been said somebody going. Y'all remember I've been said that long time ago. Yeah, and that's what they want. This is like what my man say, like the gladiators and shit. The more blood, the more hype, the more entertainment. You know what I'm saying? People like that type of entertainment. You know what I mean? They feed off negativity. People feed off that. That fucks with some people dopamine shot just because they have nothing else. If you ain't, you know what I mean? If you ain't got nothing else, whatever feeds that, you're gonna go with it. Yeah.
I mean, that's true. That is true.
I can hear you now, Mikey.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. That is true. You know what I mean? Like, like I said, I've been in the streets. Like, I see some shit. Seen some shit. Know some shit. You know what I mean?
Been out there.
I've been I've been through trap houses. Like, it was just crazy. You know what I mean? Getting tattoos, serving niggas, No cap, I was getting tattooed when I'm serving niggas.
I believe you, bro. I believe you.
Feel me?
Yeah.
You know?
I feel you.
Nigga, I ain't gonna say too much, but
that's the best thing about YouTube. You can log off. You can log off. You can log off.
Nah, that is true.
Reality. Whose reality? A child's reality. Grand Theft Auto is a microcosm of a child reality because I don't know a whole lot of grown men that sit around playing Grand Theft Auto. What's Sims? What's that? YouTube is reality. Yeah, we are all real people communicating in real time. It's okay. Yeah. See, everybody got their own understanding of how YouTube works for them, and you know what I mean. But for me, none of it's real. It's not real. The people on here are fake. None of it is. It's not. You know what I mean. It can get real though. It can become your reality. You know what I'm saying? You can't let that happen. You know what I mean? You got to get outside. You got to handle your business. You got to take care of you got to work, or whatever you do, have to do. It has to be spent more than on here. Just saying things that, whatever, just because everybody got an opinion, but everybody can't express their opinion like outside. Some people, the only place that anybody hear them, or acknowledge that they said something is on YouTube. Go out there, nobody listens to them. Nobody.
That is true.
That's a
that
fact.
Is true. No, that is true. That is true. Because you know why? You could stand in one corner, yell out everything, and people will walk right past you.
Absolutely. Just like on here. You ain't got to
walk right past you.
You don't have to engage with everybody
what you're saying.
Come across, bro, on here. You don't have to.
You know what I mean? Because I see that shit in hand every day in New York, even over here in Florida. You see that shit too.
That's flat. No. See, that's the problem. You want to flash back. I don't flash back. Flashback for what? Flashback for what? Why would I flash back to that? That's your problem. You got to come forward. You got to get all of that bullshit out of your head. That's the problem with people. They don't know how to move forward because this is not reality. And reality in real life, we move forward when we know ain't nothing happening. Ain't nothing happening with that situation. So why should I rehash it? I let niggas like you do that in your mind, you know, because this is you. This is your reality. What was you saying, Mikey?
Oh, what I was saying was, you just
Y'all
can't,
niggas fuck me up with that respectfully shit.
man.
You
Hold on,
just
let
say
me
what you
fix
gonna
something here
say
real
to
quick.
me. You ain't
You
got
can
to
hear me?
add that shit. That's weird.
Man, my fucking phone.
It was reality. Like motherfuckers be heated on here and don't understand who they playing with.
That's what I'm. Yeah, I understand that.
That's what
Hold on,
he's saying.
That's not what he's saying.
Yes, he is. He just all he did was what aggravated you is going back. You don't like to go back. Just listen. It was reality.
No. You don't.
It's not a.
It wasn't reality until he came outside. All that shit on here wasn't real. And then when he came outside, it wasn't real then. That's what I'm trying to say. You can talk and say all you want on the YouTube, but once you get out here in reality, it's never going to be the same unless you kind of like my man Pennywise. You know, Manny Wise and that situation. That's reality, but it started on YouTube. It didn't have to become reality. They could have kept it like you like your reality, Chat Lives Matter on YouTube. Most of your reality is probably on YouTube. They brought that shit off, you know? It happens. You're not trying to. No. You're not. No, I'm not offended by you, bro. You're not offending me. I understand where you're coming from. Yeah. Over copyright strikes on YouTube. It's reality. They got murdered out there for the things they was doing on YouTube. The reality is you can't play with everybody on YouTube because your reality may be what that wife and her husband got. That's all I'm saying. You know what I mean? Stop making this your reality, and then those type of things wouldn't happen. You got to be preemptive in certain situations, and no people understand that on YouTube. They like to get to the point where they got people out there. That's what y'all want to see. That's what people thrive off of. I don't thrive off of that. That's a lose-lose situation for both of them. Because that man is past age of going to prison. He's past the age. They got kids involved. All because they made YouTube their reality. That's all I'm saying. Mikey, you back? You coming back? You back, Mikey?
I'm here. You can hear me?
Yeah, I hear you now.
Yeah. But you know.
Oh, he better hope that he can get a life sentence. He better hope he can get that. Because that's a definitely a death penalty case.
No, that's a fact. That's a fact. It's just, like I said, man, can't estimate people.
Nah, you're not supposed to.
Yeah, you can't
Waste my
estimate.
time.
You
Why
you
would you
can't you
waste your time?
can't.
And you could just, you ain't got to deal. You ain't got to deal with everybody, Mikey.
No,
So waste your
facts.
time about underestimating them and worried about what they're gonna do, what they can do. Just don't fuck with them. And then it
Nah,
doesn't what they
facts.
do doesn't affect you.
Nah, that's a fact. That's a fact. That's a fact. That's how come I like just to chill. play my game. That's it.
That's
Feel
good. Yeah.
That's people's way, you know.
You see why I can barely have a thought, then keep her palms get sweaty and I can't stay focused.
Real talk. Like, this kind of stuff don't make
Yeah.
me feel good.
I mean, it's I mean, those type of things don't. That's why I said most people are desensitized to those type of things happening anyway. Right? He made a choice. Right, Clark? He made a choice.
No,
Yeah,
facts.
yeah. You know.
Yeah, that was his choice, you know. It was ain't nobody put a gun in his head and say, you know, that was his choice, you know.
He was mad. He was angry.
Man.
I
I mean, you know what? I don't want to say I don't blame him, but hey, you know, you keep on messing with people, man, and this is what happens. You
yeah,
know,
yeah. I mean, that's
you,
you see what
you
can
know,
happen. This is just another example
you know what
that
I
people
mean?
won't take heed to because and next week nobody will be talking about this.
And that goes for everybody here on this platform, everybody from the sector. You think people, you know, you think people is just on some like, oh, that's an ain't shit nigga, or they ain't an ain't shit bitch, or whatever. Okay, when you find out what that person's really about, and him or her comes to your city
Mhm.
ready to crash out on you, then what? Feel me?
Yeah, I
You
feel
know,
you,
you
bro.
know,
I
you
feel you.
know. That is the truth. You know what I mean? And they will vlog that shit too.
I
They'll
mean,
put that
most
shit.
people,
They'll
if you
put
go
that
that
shit
far,
on YouTube too. Like fuck it.
if you
It
go
is
that
what it
far,
is.
you better get something out of it, some gratification out of it.
Like you know, that's why I come. You know, that's why come on. I say I'm kind of glad I'm licensed to carry.
Mhm.
You know,
Uh-huh.
don't come to me with that extra shit. Cause
That
hey,
don't give you a license to to just shoot anybody though, just because you license to carry.
I'm gonna say, hey, yo, I felt attacked.
You have to be
So
in intimate danger, bro.
yeah, that's what I'm gonna say. Yeah, like look,
Nah,
hey,
you
he
can't
came to my presence. You feel
yeah,
me? Like you come to my space with the
right.
bullshit.
Oh yeah, I think if
So
somebody come to your city, man, and threaten you, I think you should do them dirty.
yeah,
You
like you know what I mean?
and
You
if you
come to my space, my city, looking for me, so I gotta protect myself.
I don't think you should go nowhere looking for no smoke though. I don't think you should go around
Nah,
looking for no
no,
smoke.
no. But you know, people wanted to feel froggy, either put their address on YouTube,
Who pushes that type
you
of
know,
content? Yeah, that's the content that they push though. Absolutely. That yeah, yeah.
people are idiots too, right? People will put other people's dress on YouTube. Like, yeah, this is what they at. This is where they at. You should go look for them. You
No.
feel me?
I'm scared for my life. Yeah, that's hey Kerry. Ain't nothing wrong. That's a warning though. That's giving a person you letting them know. You are letting them know. Yeah. But yeah, don't go looking for no smoke, man, because it ain't gonna always turn out right.
That's yeah, that's all around. That's all around, man.
Yeah, that's
Don't
everywhere.
if you're gonna go out there look for some smoke, be prepared. Be prepared. Just be prepared.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
feel me? Be prepared because nowadays people are willing to crash out on niggas and don't give two fucks.
Every day. Every day.
Feel
Cause
me?
you know,
Niggas.
it's too like I say like um it's for men, right? That's always angry. They either
Mhm.
broke, they either hungry, or they don't get no pussy. That's the
Mm.
only thing that have a nigga angry every day. Those three things.
And that's another thing too. People come here and say, "Oh, he's this, he's that, he's all this, and he's pussy, he's a coward, and you ain't shit, nigga." All this extra shit.
I
Come and
mean,
find No, you know, when a nigga tell you come and find out,
Uh-huh.
you better go find out. You feel me? Because you talking crazy. You feel me?
That's what
Like,
you know what it is, Mikey.
Back to another keeper video.
What?
Me and the chick talking about putting the Addy out there and all that. See?
Putting the Addy.
See, she was saying Clark said, I don't like all that Addy stuff.
Right.
When
Yeah.
you start talking about that, I get away from
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
But see, at the end of the day, you don't put your own address out there. It's the people that's trying to get some shit popped off.
Yeah, I just tell you where I'm at. Everybody know where I'm at. I ain't, you know what I mean? I ain't got no Addy. I live in Philadelphia. If an issue is that bad and you think it's, you come anywhere in Philadelphia,
Mm.
and we deal with it like that. But for me, you could drop your Addy all. I don't need your Addy because I ain't coming to see you. You ain't got nothing I want.
that's a fact. That's a fact.
Yeah, nothing I want. You know what I'm saying?
I just, I try to stay away from people, man. I just like to
What I'm
play
saying, bro.
game,
I know motherfuckers.
man.
Once I know a motherfucker ain't right, ain't got it all, I'm good. I don't, you know what I'm saying? I'll fall back off a nigga. I ain't got no problem staying away from a nigga, man. You know what I mean?
I saw this post, right?
Yeah.
This shorty said, "Would you want your man to play games all day, or be in the streets and get caught up?"
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people said, "Well, you know what? I'd rather have him to play games than be in
Wow.
the streets."
So a real man ain't gonna be in the house playing games all day, and he ain't gonna be in the streets all night, all day either. It's always, it's a balance in everything, bro.
There's a balance.
And everything.
Yeah,
Everything got to be balanced, bro, especially for a man.
facts. Facts. Life is balance. It's not
should-
one
it-
sided. It's not one sided.
Life gets, wobbly at times, bro. Life definitely gets wobbly. You know what I'm saying? But that's what life is about. Ups and downs. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Right.
You live and you know what I mean, and you learn, or you don't.
No, facts.
But life ain't always gonna be hunky dory and shit. You know what I'm saying?
No.
But
No, that's a fact. That's a fact.
it's-
Like I said, me, right? I'm gonna tell you one little quick story. So I'm chilling in my man's crib. We in the crib trapping, right?
man.
What we in the crib trapping, right? Whatever's the case may be.
You think so, Carrie? I think women should also, that they should discourage men from pulling up. Because a lot of dudes do talk that talk to try to impress women. You know what I mean? Yeah. So if you can recognize that, and it's nothing. Some guys want a woman to say, "Don't do that." They want that. They need that sometimes. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, somebody got to do it. You know what I mean? Somebody got to discourage it.
Mm-mm.
Cause I don't want to see nobody pull up on nobody. But if they do, shit, I hope it don't end like it ended on there with them. Bitch can't even run.
Shit, I had some shit pulled on me before.
To try to prevent that. Yeah, that's true. That's true. But yeah.
You know what I mean? I definitely had some shit pulled on me before.
Yeah.
Yeah, 3 times.
Wow.
3 times. No cap.
Yeah, it goes down out there, Mikey.
It's a fact. I mean, shit was
real.
real. You feel me? I could have did some shit too, but lucky I had some sense. Huh?
Ain't you glad you didn't?
Nah. Some sense. Some real powerful sense. You know what I mean? I said, nah, this is not me. I can't do this. I can't
Yeah.
do this.
Slight, you get slight, you know what I mean? It only take a second, bro.
I can't. You know what I mean? Because
You gotta be able to.
I still want to live and still be here. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? I seen some niggas got this shit knocked.
Wow.
You feel me?
Yeah.
Just for bullshitting.
Yeah. Just for bullshit. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you sitting there like, damn, son. You know? Like, I'm gonna tell you this, right? Me and my man we went to go see a shorty, right? And you know, when you have that instinct, you know, you tell your man, let's go this way. You feel me? I feel like this, let's just go this way. Nah, we good. We going this way. Next thing you know, I got a bunch of bloods pulling up on me. A bunch of them.
Mm.
That's some wild shit. And he got his ass fucked up, bloody and everything.
Got beat up.
Yeah. Told me, yo, if you bust a move, I'm gonna shoot you in the face. I said, look, my guy, you can take whatever you want. I don't care. Just take it. Nah. Just don't move. If you move, it's a wrap.
It's a rat.
I said, okay, cool. We go back to the hood. Mike, oh, why you didn't do nothing? Why you didn't do nothing? Yo, my guy, I got a gun in my
I
face,
don't
Mike.
believe you, nigga. I don't believe you, nigga. I tell you, I don't know. I don't
I
fucking
mean,
trust
you look, propane. Either you could believe me or you don't have to believe me. But I do know one thing. Me and my friends that, you know, we don't talk because of what I said and, you know, what I did type shit. We don't talk. You know what I mean? So this did happen.
Wait, did I
Feel
hear this
me?
story before?
Oh, Mike, why you didn't do nothing? I said, yo, my guy got a gun in my face. I'm not some type of Rambo type nigga. Feel me? I got a gun straight in my face, looking crazy.
Did you tell me this story before?
Huh?
Huh?
Hello.
I said, did you tell me this story before?
I never
What
heard
happened?
it. I never
Did you
heard it.
tell-
Okay.
So, Mike, did you
Yeah,
tell
yeah.
me this story before?
Yeah. This happened in the Bronx, in Hunts Point.
Nah, wait,
Deep in
wait.
Hunts Point.
Mike, what you doing on Hunts Point?
I went to go see a shorty.
Mike, you
Me
was
and my niggas. Me and my
come on,
niggas.
Mike. What kind
Me-
of
me and my
shorty- you
niggas.
know what kind of shorties on Hunts Point, bro? What you doing?
What's going on?
Nah. We went to Shorty's house. We went to Shorty's house.
You
We
out
went to
there
Shorty's
tricking,
house.
Mike. You in Hunts Point tricking. Stop playing. You know ain't nothing but
No.
tricks down there. That's the whole stroll.
I know, but I'm saying me and my mans went to go to her house. And you
What, in
know,
the
her
Bronx?
parent, yeah, in the Bronx. Yeah.
So wait. So that's the whole stroll in the Bronx, whatever street
Huh?
Graham is talking about.
Hunts Point.
What happened?
Hey, how you
Clark,
know about
what
that?
is Mike doing on
Hold on.
Hunts Point?
I can't.
The fuck, this nigga sound like he know about New York, and I don't know shit about New York.
Yeah. So you know, Hunts Point, that shit, it gets real down there. Don't get it twisted.
Absolutely.
It gets real. It's a bunch of bloods over there. It's a
Hey,
bunch.
bro, what the fuck you know about Hunts Point, nigga? Put me on, cause nigga, all I know is Philly.
Bro, you can't.
No, hey, bro,
I've been around a long time, Brody.
I'm just talking shit. You can get into it if you want or not. I'm just talking
I've been
shit.
around a long time, Brody.
It
ain't too many spots I don't know about.
Yeah, because
you know.
Go ahead.
Nah, you know, like I said, me and my niggas went to go see some shorties, you know. Soon as we leave out the building, I said, let's hit this corner. Feel me? I feel like something's about to happen. You know, let's hit this corner. Nah, we good. Next thing you know, I got a bunch of bloods coming in my face. Like, what the fuck? Like, what? I ain't got no blade, no nothing. I'm like,
So wait,
It's over.
where was the young boy you was smoking at the fucking, you know what I'm saying, vault for you and shit?
Well, say it again.
Mike, the Bloods ran you out of New York.
Nah,
Oh,
hell nah, hell nah. Hell nah. I know some good bloods. I know some bloods that's I'm cool with.
okay.
I know some that's I'm cool with. You know what I mean? They see me as like, yo, that's the homie. Like, you know what I mean? He's good. You
I mean,
know?
honestly, if I'm gonna keep it real, man, like when that fucking when the East Coast started to take over the game coach, I'm just like, when did we start doing that? You feel me?
What, flagging?
Yeah, like, huh? It's every man for himself out here. When did we start copying the West Coast?
I don't know, Propane. I think that happened in around the 2000s.
Yeah, like I wasn't
Um,
really feeling that.
yeah, around 2000s. Because I remember when I was in the feds, I met some guys that was from that were Bloods, and they told me that it was Bloods in my city, and I was like, nah, cause there ain't no Bloods in Philly. They were like, yeah, my homies, I got homies down there, blah blah blah. That's why I know for a fact that it's Bloods in Philly.
Of course.
But I don't know about no. I ain't seen no Crips.
I ain't see. That's what I'm saying. I'm like, if niggas going flag, I want to see all flags. I want to see black disciples in this bitch and all that.
Nah, man, I don't want all that, man. All that shit is goofy, man.
I don't know. I ain't no flagger.
What they flagging for? If they ain't bringing no money, if we can't get no money, then they can leave that shit alone.
For real, for real.
Yeah, if it ain't bringing no money to the game and no opportunities, man. But if you bringing some money, you can wear what the fuck you want. You can rep your red or your blue, your green, yeah, your Nietas, your Latin King. As long as we get ours and everything is fruitful, you dig?
That's
That
facts.
the
Nah, but so like I said, he was like, yo, don't move, don't do nothing, put a gun in my face.
Damn.
You feel me? Man, that shit was kind of big, no homo. Feel
oh
me?
yeah, yeah, definitely no homo. Oh, we talking about getting robbed and shit.
Yeah.
All right.
Nigga.
I told my me getting robbed story
Got
before, but
robbed, Propane?
yeah,
Mhm.
I
We
ain't
get
never tell
robbed
it.
at. Where at?
Walking down Simon's playground and shit late night.
Man, they ran down on you.
Like, it was just one nigga, and that's why I said I told this on my channel, but I ain't never tell it on yours. But you know what I mean? I'm gonna say it again, cause you ain't never hear it, right? So
I never heard it.
yeah, dog. Let me see. I'm in high school at this point, and I'm probably like what 16, 17 and shit, and I'm leaving my man's crib. We all walking down Simon's Playground. So you know about Simon's Playground. I know you know that, right? You know
Yeah,
that long,
absolutely.
yeah, the long strip. So when it's dark outside, it's just the lights on
Yeah, just the
and
playground lights.
just the playground lights. So that one night we walking, I'm going home, and me and my group members, we walking home. They cut down the block because they houses we live in different cribs. I'm still living with my peeps at this time. So I keep going straight, and they cut down the block to go to their cribs. I see a nigga walking across the street, and I'm walking down the street, and the Simon's Playground. So he
Yeah.
walking on the Simon's Playground side, and then he just start merging over to my side. I'm like,
Oh shit.
you feel me?
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, so now this nigga in front of my face. I'm like, oh, this nigga high off E pills, cause this when the E pills and all that shit was out, the Xannies and shit, and he like, yo, give me your shit. I'm like, what, nigga? No, fuck out of here. He tried to tap my pockets, and I smacked his hand. He was like, oh, you think I'm playing? Then he pulled out a 22.
Oh man.
I was like, when I seen the 22, I was like, yo, them Jones will kill you faster
Yeah,
than a big gun.
they rip you up.
And so that's when I was like, you know what, bro? I ain't say bro, but I was just like, so after I smacked his hand, he was like, oh, you think I'm playing? And then pulled the joint out. I was like, I just gave him my $20 because at this point, I'm thinking he about to run my pockets and pat me down.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I
Pat
just
down.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like some real robbery shit. He just was happy he had a gun.
Okay.
I got myself a gun. So he so I just give him the $20 I had in my pocket. I had a cell phone and $20 and shit. But he ain't tapped my pockets for the cell phone.
You just
So I
gave
just
it
gave
up
him,
smooth.
yeah, I mean, yeah, there you go.
Yeah. That's that. Yeah, if somebody
You-
run down on you, just give it up smooth. I suggest.
No,
I'm-
that's a fact.
But in my head, Wolf, I'm thinking like this nigga so high, I can smack this gun.
Oh, bro, don't
You see, I didn't, but you see, I didn't, though, nigga. I'm still here.
hey. That go through your mind. Yeah, I slapped this gun.
Yeah, look, my man is so high off of these pills, he barely holding the gun straight. You feel me? So I'm like, I can get you, but my life is more important than this moment right now, nigga. So this nigga tells me to get on the ground now. So that's that's what it was. He told me to get on the ground, and that's when I just gave him the money out of my pocket. And was just
you ready? Yeah, we ain't gonna do all that.
Yeah, and then he was like, man, get the fuck out of here. And I just kept walking, and I'm thinking like, oh, he about to shoot me in my fucking back. So don't you know this nigga walks and shoot down the street and shoots at my mans who I just separated from?
Damn.
You know what I'm saying? I'm just like, nigga, you just happy you got yourself a gun because
he was glitching.
You know what I'm saying? I'm like,
it's a lot, bro. You know the Jones, the what is it? Crime John that they have. They show the robberies and stuff.
Yeah, it's a bunch of them, John.
Yeah, I seen one boy. He robbed boy, right? Look around and still popping.
Oh, see?
That's why I was like, oh man, like what the? You still popped him.
And that's what I was saying. I was looking him dead in his eye. They say when somebody got a gun to you, look him dead in his eye.
You better.
Yeah. Cause nigga, I'm gonna haunt you, nigga.
Like I see a boy come in a Chinese store. He got the pistol already out, and he commenced to smacking boy up with the gun. So I don't want nothing to get on me, so I slide on out. He beat the boy out the Chinese store and all that, but he just pistol whipping him. And I'm saying in my mind, like, nah, I'd have start fighting back.
No, facts.
Yeah,
I got pistol whipped from a cop.
Oh my god, for real, Mikey?
Yeah, I'm not lying. And
I don't think I heard this one.
Not Prospect. And this happened in the Bronx.
Bro, you up Prospect Park?
No, Prospect in the Bronx. In the Bronx.
Oh, nigga, you
in the Bronx, Mikey?
That's some Sunset Park shit.
Mikey be in the most dangerous places in the Bronx, and Bronx is dangerous, period.
You know what I mean? Because me and my man's right. He was like, "Yo, come with me to take the hubcaps off the cars, take the signs."
Yeah.
Like the Hondas and the Bentleys or whatever. Yeah. So one day, me and him, we go, and I'm taking the sign off the car. All I hear was, "Yo, what's good? What you doing?" Cop came up, undercover cop, say, "Yo, my guy, put your hands up." I said, "Look, I got a screwdriver in my pocket. Here." He said, "Get your hands out your pocket or I'm gonna shoot you." I said, "All right, cool." Came up to me, pistol whipped me a couple of times.
Damn.
Feel me?
A police officer?
Yeah. I'm not
Damn.
gonna lie. See, some people think I'm lying, but I'm telling the truth.
I mean,
You feel
listen.
me?
From that
I mean,
little lie
hey,
you told me about fucking making that cartoon about me, I told you I can't kind of look at you the same, so I don't really trust you like that no more, my nigga.
You see, it's okay for people not to believe me, but hey, what I witnessed and what I felt, it was crazy. Feel
no,
me?
that's Mikey Clark. Mikey all over the place.
What's up, Clarky?
No, facts, facts. I got pistol whip. I got pistol whip.
No, I ain't
Yeah,
going for
all right,
that.
all
You
right,
want to shoot? You might as well just shoot me.
That's
Why
what I
would
told
you
the
let
cop.
somebody pistol whip you?
I don't know,
They
I'd
already
man.
rather
got
be
you.
I'd rather be pistol whipped than shot any
Oh
day, my
no, you're
nigga.
not pistol whipping me. That's
I'd rather be
bullshit.
pistol whipped than shot
Okay?
any day, my nigga. You
That's
crazy?
bull. I'm not. Hey, bro, that's crazy. I ain't let no nigga pistol whip me.
Yeah,
Shit.
Oh
yeah.
no, we gonna
He
be.
pistol whipped
If
me.
if you pull out that gun and start swinging with it like you fighting with it, and you try to hit me all my face and my head, nigga, we gonna be rumbling. I'm gonna take that.
Yeah,
You gonna have
absolute.
yeah, because you ain't gonna be pistol whipping me.
Yeah, like I'm a bitch and shit, but that's what I'm saying. I'll take a pistol whip over a bullet any day.
Oh, Nizar, you gonna have to air that thing.
I mean,
You ain't pistol whipping me.
outside of trying to fight. Outside of trying
Oh
to fight.
no. Hey, Carrie, let's see. Carrie said pistol whipping is far worse. That's far
Yeah, but I'm
worse.
still alive.
I take my chance with the bullet.
Woo!
Yeah,
Damn.
you're not beating me with ain't no man beating me with no gun. You crazy. You might as well
God
shoot
damn.
me.
Y'all niggas crazy.
Propane, you mean to tell me you would
So
allow a nigga to pistol whip you?
listen, I almost choked on the weed. No, I will. But that's what I'm saying. If he trying to pistol whip shit, then of course we gonna fight. But that's why I said I would take the pistol whip chance in a fighting over the straight bullet because you know I'm fighting. Like I said, I was gonna try to smack the shit out the nigga hand.
Yeah, we gonna get it down. You ain't gonna be whooping on me.
Like what I fucking look like, dad? Like what I look like just letting you fucking just like nah. I ain't even get on the ground. I ain't even get on the ground when he said get on the fucking ground.
Bro, every time he hit boy with that gun, it just was like whoop, like the cartoon, like a nugget dropped on the side of his cheekbone. I was like, damn, like yo, man, and I'm saying in my mind, man, he ain't gonna try to tussle with this nigga. It's obvious.
Exactly.
It's obvious he ain't shoot yet. Like he done slapped you like 3 times. Fuck
Man.
that. Nah.
He slapped me. He slapped me. I remember that shit. He slapped me like 2 times.
Nah.
And then another police officer came in and said, "Hey, man, you can't be doing this."
Nah.
You know what I mean?
Wait. So you say you ain't fight back because he was a police officer?
Nope.
Yeah, I couldn't fight the police
Yes,
officer.
you could, Mike. Nah, Mike. No.
He was overpowered. I mean, he was big. I was a big ass nigga. I'm small.
No, you not, nigga. You a big ass nigga too, nigga.
Nah. Back at the time, I was kind of slim. I was skinny.
Man,
I was skinny. I ain't had no type of fight in me. He pushed it with me. You know, I don't know. Be like that sometimes, you know. It don't be like
that. Be like that.
Joker hit you with a pistol, crack your skull, bro, bang, break your jaw, break your nose. You know what I mean?
So wait, Will. So after that robbery, right? Like, cause I told this on my channel. I was the crazy part was I was being discreet. I ain't mention no names because it's a small neighborhood or whatever. So the person who did it and shit, like, so.
Because I know you found out.
Huh?
I know you found out.
No, peep this, right? I'm leaving out names. Okay. So I'm chilling in my niggas' cribs, and these niggas playing craps in the basement and shit. And this nigga walks in.
Wow.
And this is like this is like months later.
Oh,
but I still remember his face. You feel me? So
yeah, I know you did.
I was like, So then I started looking at the niggas who I was around, like,
Did they
oh,
lie me?
right, but that's what I mean. He was just on them e-pills doing shit on his dolo, doing
Okay.
dumb shit on his dolo, because a few years later, I told one of my mans, like, yo, you know your brother, you know what I'm saying? He was like, yo, I ain't even know nothing about that. I was like, so now let me bring it back to a few years later after I let it ride, and I seen him at the gas station because I chilled when he walked in the crib, because I'm just like, okay, yeah, I thought what you thought, oh, these niggas lying me, and then I had to think about it. No, these niggas ain't know nothing about it. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna chill because he didn't know how close the connection was.
Right.
So few years down the line, now I got a baby mom, and I see him at the gas station, and I looked up in the sky like, Lord, you ain't take care of this nigga yet? I said, well, I'm about to, right?
Wow.
At the gas station, right? And I got a blade on me, so I'm at the pump, and he at the pump, and then I'm just waiting for him, right?
He probably ain't even remember you.
He had to, because he called.
Not for
He called.
robbing you.
He called one of his mans, or he knew something was suspicious because his
Okay.
mans pulled up, and I was like, you know what? I'm not trying to get nobody else involved. You know what I'm saying? But he had backup, and I was gonna follow him. But God, thank God I didn't. You know what I'm saying? Because at that point in time, that's when I had a baby mom, and that situation was very making a teenage father, teenage single father. Oh, nigga, now I'm experiencing raising a single child, and I still see you from the past. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, no. So, and then after that, that's when I told the bull, like, yo, you know your brother did this and that and that. He was like, yo, I ain't even know that, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? But no, chill, yo. Like, you know what I mean? He be on some dumb shit, and I'm like, I've been let it go. I've been let that shit go, because
That's crazy, nigga, robbing in the hood and shit. Robbing, you know what I mean?
it's too close, and that's what I was just like, that, like, that revenge. I really, because I wouldn't be here right now to even talk about this shit and laugh about this shit. You know what I'm saying? But I definitely didn't get no get back,
Right.
which is
No, I'm saying, you know what? It ain't always about a get back, bro.
because that's what I said. I looked in the sky like, God, you ain't handled this nigga yet, because I would, but
somebody might get back.
I'll tell you a good story. I'll tell you a good one, right? So, this is in the hood, right? So these niggas, right? They used to pick on me, whatever's the case may be, right? Until one day,
I think I heard this one.
they said, yo, Mike, what's good? We didn't know you had this. My bad. You feel me, Mike? My
They was
bad
talking like that.
Yeah, my bad for picking on you, Mike. You feel me? Can we work something out?
What?
Yeah. I said, okay, my guy, it's cool. It's cool. Don't worry about it. Let me get that bread.
They used to bully you, Mike?
Yeah, I used to be bullied
Mm.
in New York, in the Bronx, all day, every day. Until one day, my pops told me, he said, Mike, if you don't go out there and fight, I'm forced to fuck you up. You feel me?
So,
And that's when I had to go out there, fight my own battle.
Again, and you never got bullied after that?
Yep. You feel me? He was like, yo,
How old were you, Mikey?
At that time, I was in my 20s.
Wow,
oh shit! Whoa!
In my 20s, going on my 30s.
I do not mean to laugh.
I was in my 20s, going on my 30s.
Damn, Mikey, what the hell?
Yeah, I was being bullied.
I'm talking about teenage
I
shit,
You
I don't
nigga.
feel
believe
me?
that. I don't believe
And
that.
you don't you
No,
don't
I
have
don't
to.
believe
But
in
look,
that.
guess what? Guess
I
what?
don't believe a man in his late 20s or his early 30s can
Grown calling you a liar, Mikey. Like I'm calling you a liar about the motherfucking cartoon shit.
So peep this, right? So my other friends, right? We chilling in the rooftop. They kept on fucking with me. I said, okay, you took my hat. Now I'm
I know
tight.
bullies are real in 3, but at 30? At
That,
30?
hey, Grown, come on, bro. He said 20. Then you gonna boost it up.
Come on, man. I was walking the big yard at 20 with the monster. And he talk about being bullied?
Bro, he
Yeah,
talking
man.
Stop playing propane. Bullied at 20. The bullying stops after what? Junior high school?
right, middle school.
Middle school. Yeah. That's when the bullying stops, bro.
That's a fact. It does. It does. It does. But
What?
when you come from the hood, shit gets crazy.
Especially when you come from the hood.
You know what I mean? So that kind of got me tough a
So
little
you
bit.
think you were being bullied by other grown men?
A little bit. A
Mikey
little
funny.
bit.
You know what I'm
Until
saying?
until look, until one day they
13,
said, Mike,
14 tops, truth. That's a fact. 13, 14 top. 13, 14. All right, I'm going to the gym or something. We gonna do something. Because they ain't gonna keep
Hey, we
making
gonna learn how to
too
box.
much money.
like,
Mm.
okay, when you come from New York, right? This is a universal thing. I feel like this is a universal thing. When you come from New York or whatever, you're gonna have people test you,
Mikey.
right? People will test you,
Everybody do that. Like I
right?
tested guys at that age, but it got to a point where I knew when, yeah, they ain't to be tested no more. If you know what I'm saying, it's gonna
You
go
know
to,
what I mean?
you know what I mean? So you
So
stop.
when the niggas see I was really about that life, like niggas like, oh
Right,
shit, we
20,
didn't we didn't know.
25. Now you talking
Hey,
about that 30.
propane.
Now you talking about that 30, girl. Now you
I mean, you got kids and you about that life.
Nah, cause
Like kids is
niggas,
being
I
bullied.
be
look,
having kids still being bullied, nigga. That's
Mikey,
the
tell me
crazy.
you ain't had no kids and you was being bullied. You didn't have any kids, did you?
I mean,
Hey,
at that time I had my first and my
Girls get
second one
bullied in high
test.
school? Yeah, I
hey,
know. It's some boys that get bullied in high school, Carrie. I'm just messing with Mikey. I know people get, but come on, Carrie. Boys and girls and men and women don't get bullied at 20 and
I mean, actually, now since Kerry said that, I gotta tap into the chat and see what the chat's saying. Shout out to the chat, but I made a girl bring a gun book to school because we was not bullying, but like just like busting on her, like the whole class, like we was class clowns and
that was
shit,
clowning
like
her.
yeah. And when she brought that gun book to school,
Uh-huh.
everybody cooled the fuck out.
She was saying, "Don't play with me."
And I caught that
That's what I'm
subliminal.
saying, and that's what I'm saying. I used to
See,
mess with, tease, but at a certain time, I would stop messing with a person because you know what I mean?
nah,
Yeah,
but look, well, like I said, right? You know, when they said, Mike, we didn't know we was about that life. I was like, yo, I am the major plug. Trust me on that. You
plug on
feel
what,
me?
Mikey? What you to plug on?
I can't say what I want to say on here.
Oh, you one of them guys?
Plug.
You one of them guys, Mikey?
Yes.
Okay.
I was the low key
Yeah,
plug.
yeah, keep that in the tuck.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So,
Got an echo.
you know, my
That's
man,
Mike.
my man came
That's
through.
Mikey.
My man came. Hold on, let me fix my thing. Hold on. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Yeah. So, I told my man, I was like, yo, don't you ever bring me these 5 and 10s. I'm not here to be counting this shit. I don't got time for that.
Okay.
And he was like, yo, my bad, you feel me? My bad for bullying you. You feel me? All this, everything. All
You
the
know you
niggas came
was, huh,
through.
Mike? He
All
had
the
to
niggas came.
recognize, huh?
Yeah,
Was
all
he
the niggas.
recognized, right?
Yeah, they was like, oh shit, my guy, yo, my bad. Feel me? We didn't know. I was like, yeah. So, you know,
He
like
know
I told you,
you was baby Chapo.
yeah. So, like I told you, lucky for that person that took it off my hands. He said, yo, I gotta take this off your hands. Don't you're gonna do something crazy. You feel me? You're gonna do something crazy.
Are you talking
I
about that
was
illegal?
like,
You talking about that illegal AK with the 9 bodies on? Like, no.
you're a
Oh my
funny
goodness.
guy. You're a funny
Mikey, don't be
guy.
on here implicating yourself, Mikey. Ain't no
Nah, nah.
statutory on certain crimes, man. Ain't no statute of limitation, man. So don't be on here and
No, no,
indicting
no, no, no,
yourself.
no, 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 no. But like I say, he said, lucky I took it off your hands because he was like, yo, I could see it in your face. He was
Like you had the
already,
juice. Keeper said you had the juice.
Hey, yo, I was about
yeah.
to say that. You got the juice now, Mikey.
I mean, yo, that you don't have to believe me, but I know it was
Oh,
that shit. Yo, that
Bro,
shit,
hey,
yo.
bro, listen,
You think
that's your
not?
story. That's
Yo,
your
look.
story.
Look, like I said, A, I could have still be here, or B, I could have been somewhere else doing some wild shit.
We glad you're here, Mikey. We
Feel
glad you
me?
made the right choice, Mikey.
My man, so that right choice, I said, all right, here. You feel me? Because he was like, I understand people was picking on you in the streets. So he was like, now you got the power in your hand to
I ain't
put a
going.
nigga
Yo,
down.
him
I ain't
Antonio
going.
had the juice.
I ain't going fucking 20, nigga. Like what?
You feel me? He was like, now you got the power in your hand. Now you can put a nigga down when you feel like it. You
Oh,
feel
because you
me?
had a rat, you had a strizzy
Yes.
that gave you the power.
Yes. You know how much that shit holds, my nigga? That power?
You felt powerful with the strizzy in your hand.
Yes.
Nah. Wow.
Wow, you ain't
No.
You
propane,
you
you hearing?
you
But he
think
No.
not
not?
the only one that feel like that.
You
That's
think
the
not?
step. You know what? Like, and that's what. And I don't own. I can get my hands on tons of guns, but I still don't own one because I still feel these knuckles is lethal. And even though niggas is not shooting no more, I mean, not fighting.
Nah, but when you feel that power in your hand, like
No,
ain't
no,
ain't
no,
ain't,
no,
ain't
no,
touch
no,
you.
I don't see. No, I ain't gonna go there. But go ahead,
I,
go ahead.
You,
I,
you, you feel me? When you felt that
No, I
shit,
don't
when I
feel
felt
you
that
though.
shit in my
I
hand,
don't feel you.
when I felt that shit in my hand, I said,
So you
yo,
don't
any
feel that
nigga could get
without it.
it.
How
Any
do you
nigga
feel
could get
without
it.
it? How do you feel without it?
I feel
ah!
good. I feel good. I feel good.
Can anybody get it without it?
Yes.
So where's the power? You already
Like,
got the power then.
nah. What I mean is like I felt that shit like holding it in my hand type shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like I felt the
you,
power. Like,
you
all
making
right,
me think of a song. I gave
any like anybody could get it. You feel me? Let a nigga test me. Feel me?
that's
I'm I'm
what the
put I'm put I'm
Nah,
put I'm,
man,
I'm
that's
putting that under
goofy
the
to
nigga.
me. Nah, that's
No,
goofy.
I know, but back in that day, that's what I was thinking.
So
You feel me? I was thinking like that. I was on some like,
okay,
oh,
yeah,
okay,
I got you.
like like yo, any nigga could get it. Let a nigga try me. I put a hole on a nigga. Let a nigga try me.
But when you was when they was bullying, you ain't had that thing. All you had was your hands. Wasn't no trying you
Yeah,
then, huh?
yeah,
What was the
yeah,
difference?
yeah. I
Why you ain't
mean,
had the
it's
power
a
then?
big difference. At that time, I was kind of like a little pussy nigga.
Huh?
So
long as you
so
be
so
honest, I respect it, my nigga. That's all.
so when I had the shit in my hand, I
You
was
gotta
like,
always
yo,
keep that thing to keep that feeling then. So you stay strizzied, huh?
at that time when I was young, yes.
Okay.
Feel me? But when that person took it off my hands, he said, I gotta take this off. Cause I can't see you going in a path
Yeah, you
that,
start wilding out.
yeah, you ain't
You
gonna
was
come
like
back from.
you was like Bishop, huh?
The person that
Look,
took it off your hands, he gave it to you.
the
He put
first
it in your hands for you to have for protection, and then he seen you out. No,
True,
nigga.
you crazy, true.
Let me
Yes.
tap into the chat. Let me tap into the fucking chat, man.
Yes. Yes.
Y'all niggas stupid.
He said I can't see you going back of
What's up?
craziness with this. You feel me? No lie to that. You feel me? And to the niggas was like, yo, man, yo, shit, man, yeah, it was good. I'm
He
telling
said
you.
cock to the side.
You feel me? Niggas in the hood. Like niggas could tell you the hood.
Yeah,
You know what
y'all
I mean?
niggas motherfucker,
Know what I
man.
mean? And I still remember the nigga names. No cap. My man, his name is Macho, Redhead, Alex, some other niggas too that I know, you know. You feel me?
Yeah, them folks call them people around here. I don't want no smoke out of folks that call those peoples. Mm-mm.
You know what I mean? Tell you, man. I tell you, man, shit
I'd
was
rather you
crazy
try
back
to
in the
beat me
day.
up than to call the folks on me.
And
She
and
was
and and
she
that
was
and that's what I was gonna say about beating up because when I was live, for all the people that was in my chat when I was live the last time, and I ain't feel like telling y'all the story because that my night was so crazy. I said I'll tell y'all months from now. Since I'm on grown man joint, fuck it. So like this what happened, right? It grown. So I'm getting off of work, right? I hop on the train and shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm on my way home and it's like 6'10" young boys. You know these young boys tall and all that shit. So whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So these niggas holding up the train with they bullshit. And everybody on that on the cart that I was in is bitching like, yo man, we people got places to be. You know how
Yeah.
me, man, like I'm a chill nigga, but for some reason, and this is probably like 3 days ago,
You said something to the young boss?
all these niggas, all you niggas, hey yo, man, what the fuck is y'all doing, yo? No, OG is him. I don't give a fuck who it is, man. Nigga, I'm trying to go home. Fuck is y'all niggas doing? Yo, y'all niggas is drawing. All right, cool. I did what I did because I
Right.
knew I could possibly be rolled on, whatever.
Right.
But I'ma fuck a few of you niggas up. So the older head decided to chime in after I said what I said, and they ended up whooping his ass into the
Damn.
next stop and off the train and shit. Like,
Damn.
so I'm like, so everybody, so I was like, yo, they fucking them up because of me. They was like, yeah, boy, tried to, do what I did when what I said was cool. Once I settled it, everything was cool. But older head was whatever his 2 cents was, or if they had picks
They
because
be having picks, yeah. They
you
have
feel me.
picks. They definitely have picks.
But that's when I walked over to all them niggas. I ain't had no picks. I'm
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, you know them
I
young
mean,
boys.
on top, bro. You know how these youngins out here is. I could have got popped.
I'm telling you.
You know what I'm saying? Straight up.
Yeah, that's why it's rare that you should get in a confrontation with them young niggas, man.
And that was my first time, and I thank God that it didn't happen. And they chose the other guy to fuck up because every time he would try to block, his head would look like a bobblehead trying to block because those fists was flying from every which side.
And then
But they
you
knew
know what they gonna say, right? After you fuck somebody baby up, right?
what.
That grown man fucked my baby up. He hurt my child. He did my
Right,
child, my baby.
right, but and that's what I'm saying. Old head, um, he couldn't defend himself like how I would have if that would have happened to me. And I think they seen that, which is corny to me, because I'm the one that actually stepped to all you niggas and for everybody on the train that was bitching from their seats.
Right, and they looked at you and say, "Damn, this nigga gonna be giving up some smoke if we try to roll on him." So yeah, they moved on to the older guy who he probably looked at a little frail. You know what I'm saying?
Absolute.
You know, and yeah, they got their picks definitely.
Corny.
You see what they did to Lil Hawk, right? You know Hawk short, Philly Trenches.
I think Speak was just telling me about this shit.
Yeah,
I
he a short guy, so he got into it with the young boys on the bus. He wound up shooting up the bus, man.
Yo, I ain't see this shit yet.
Oh, you go on my page, Philly Trenches. You know Hakeem. You probably don't know him. He from up Frankfurt though.
No.
Yeah.
I'm subscribed to Philly Trenches.
Oh yeah, he gone. You know his pay. He locked up.
What?
And he shot them 4 young. He shot the lady on the bus. 10 people.
Whoa, wait. So the bull Philly. So you down with the bull? What's his name? American Confident too. He from Philly.
Yeah, and members only. Yeah.
Members only bloggers.
Yeah.
All these Philly niggas, but yeah, no. Speak was just telling me about this.
Philly Trenches. He got on the bus. He got into it with the young boys. They dipped on him, and he started airing.
See?
Now he got he over the F. He got like 8-10 cases of aggravated assault with a pistol. He a convicted felon. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah.
Wow. Oh.
Yeah, he crashed out.
It's crazy. That's crazy.
So real quick, I don't mean to change the subject and shit, but are you keeping track, or are you aware that Papoose, Remy, Easy, and Chris, whatever Carissa situation?
Not really. I mean, in the beginning, but what's going on? Wow, what's up?
I don't feel like explaining. It's just all fucking goofy, but like I just thought you was, you know what I mean?
Nah, I don't like that kind of stuff, man.
I'm sad that Pap got to go through it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That's But see, like, that Easy.
He's not from Philly, and
I know he's not from Philly, but y'all accept him though, right? They accept him because he brought some money to the city.
Oh, nigga, like I know.
My bad. You see, I switched up.
I said what? I mean, because I ain't gonna hold you. I did accept them.
I know you rock with Stiz in them. I know you would.
You know what I'm saying? But I don't even know. I don't bring up Stiz because that's gonna make me think of King Bow and all this other shit. But
yeah, did they rumble? Hey, Pro, did they rumble?
Fuck no. You know what? I don't even want to say. All right, I'm gonna say it because Stiz said it. Stiz after all that online, Stiz called King Bow and was just like, "Yo, this just a promotion type shit." But King Bow like, "No, nigga, I ain't on that type shit, nigga. You didn't talk crazy."
Yeah.
And
the way they was talking, I thought that was a go.
Me too, Wolf. I was like,
that's why I be believing a lot of, just like Garcia and
Mike Knox.
Garcia and Mike Knox, Garcia and Oskino. Quilly just came out here.
Oh, I seen that. I seen that with that.
I think it's all just to keep them in the mix.
Algorithm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that fuck you song, well, whatever Quilly did. I'm just like, damn, nigga, how you gotta? But whatever floats the boat. Whatever floats they boat, nigga.
Like, you know what I mean? I heard what's the name? I heard he brought Hattie back though.
Absolutely, I just was watching that. I just was watching that. I ain't know if that freestyle was old or new, but yeah, I see Hattie.
I ain't see the freestyle.
Yeah, I've seen it. I used
to fuck with. I like Hattie and shit. You know, I thought Hattie was gonna be a go until he got knocked out.
And what was fucked up was 50 said he was going to sign him until that happened.
Yeah, that's what I said. He was a go until he was G Unit already, and once he got knocked out, 50 snatched that deal off the table.
But I find that corny because he it would have been thorough if 50 would have signed him because that happened.
Nah, you can't represent that brand at that time being got knocked
At
out.
that time. Yep. And
Yeah,
that's the fucked up part. That's the fucked up part.
yeah. Maybe a few years later he could have got signed, but not then.
Because put it like this, when 50 got shot, ain't nobody want to deal with him. Niggas from the
Fact.
West Coast hollered
Nobody.
at him and helped him out. So nigga, you from South Jamaica, Queens. Hattie from Philly, you actually like this nigga, but since some nut shit happened because niggas is jealous,
Yeah,
that stirs you from signing him.
absolutely.
And but his talent is still fire, and you come on, man.
Man, but if you know your brand and you confident of what your brand going to do, you ain't going to make that decision. That wouldn't have been a smart business move.
Everybody in the city know that was corny.
But
That
not
was
in
corny.
the world. Not in the world.
That was corny.
We know that G Unit coming through. Yeah, G Unit. Who G Unit? You know the boy Joey Jihad, the one that got knocked out in Philly. Nah, that wasn't gonna work.
Now you got G Unit backing you. You think niggas gonna do that shit now?
It already was done.
I mean,
you can't change it, Propane.
I know.
That fucked his career up, bro. That one punch.
Yo, so you know about the you heard about the boxer One Punch right now that you said. I just want to know real quick. You ever heard of One Punch? I think he's from South Philly.
That's what I was saying. Yeah, I know One Punch. He one of the cars.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
No, that's it.
He
That's
used
all.
to have a clothing line and stuff. You know he was he was cool with Diddy.
Oh shit! But I don't even feel like talking about this nut ass case, man.
Hey, bro, bang.
Yeah.
One Punch was cool with Diddy. Yeah,
Look,
Diddy had co-signed this clothing line, I believe.
thanks, brought up
Yeah,
Diddy.
Simon. I seen one of his fights before.
He was just recently at Glockaway or whatever. I don't remember his fights, but all I know is they call him One Punch because he knocked niggas out with one punch. And
He used to.
He used to?
Yeah, he used to.
Oh. You know what I'm saying?
He did about 7 years for a body.
Yeah, I heard
Damn,
that.
that's crazy.
Yeah, and I remember he came home, he started doing the little clothing line thing, and then he had hooked up with Diddy, and he had, you know what I mean, he was moving around in the low key in the industry.
I'ma just say this real quick, and y'all could move on with the conversation or stay on. And I don't give a fuck. But half of them chicks is not fucking victims. I don't give a fuck what y'all say.
I don't know what's going on with that. I ain't watched none. I don't watch none of that, bro.
All right, cool. Well, all right, I'm done anyway. But
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? 50 Cent baby mom is not a victim. I ain't trying to hear it.
There's no victim in that unless they was minors and shit like that. If they ain't got no minors involved, then all those grown folk doing their thing.
You feel me? That's all I'll say. Anyway,
He ain't the first nigga that been having freak off parties in Hollywood and stuff like. Not even in Hollywood.
Hugh Hef is the king of that shit.
Hugh Hefner is the king of it.
The lord of that motherfucker.
You know what I mean? Shoot.
He had the bitches in our faces and still ain't go to jail.
Yo, they said, you remember when Dr. Jerry Buss used to own the Lakers?
Why you going? You know I watch sports, dog.
You don't? You said you don't?
You know I don't watch sports.
Oh, well, listen. You remember when you know about the Lakers, though?
Yeah.
All right, when Kareem and Magic and all them was on the Lakers, he built the goddamn club in the forum where they played at after the games. They used to have freak offs in there. How you think Magic caught the HIV?
I got the HIV. Woo!
That shit ain't
Crazy.
nothing new. They just, starting to with the internet and social media now, things are more, in your face.
Right.
Mm.
Yeah. And okay, I get it now. I get it, man. I get it.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, but go ahead wherever the conversation
Nah,
go.
I'm actually about to. I've been on here for 2 hours, bro. I'm about to get up out of here, bro.
Oh, all right. Okay, Wolf.
I
Hey, Wolf.
appreciate you, man.
So wait.
Yo.
That's what I wanted to tell you. When you come to the show, if you come to the show, nigga, I'm calling you up on stage, nigga.
No, don't do that, man. Don't do that.
I'm calling all my niggas up on stage.
All right, I'm coming up then.
Or I'm coming in the crowd. That's what
I thought. Yeah. But I'm sliding. I'll be through.
All right. Well, either way, all right. Either way, it's going down, man. Like actually, I'm gonna do. The first song I'm gonna slide through the crowd, and the second song I'm gonna call everybody up on stage.
Okay.
You know
I got you.
Yeah. So Philly in the building, my wolf.
Well, absolutely.
All right, man. I'm the fuck out of here. Hey, chat, dysfunctional YouTube family, man. Y'all know I love y'all, man. Hey, Mikey, man. All right, my nigga.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Brody.
All right, y'all. All right.
All right, Mikey. All right, people. I appreciate y'all. I hope y'all, got something out of my little rant on the prison pipeline, because that's some real serious stuff going on, man. Before we know it, man, they gonna have all the little boys on papers or on some type of program that's really nothing but a small what they call them, gladiator school. You remember Truth, we used to call them gladiator schools. Yeah. But I appreciate y'all tapping in, yo. And y'all have enjoy the rest of y'all night. It's the legend tapping out from the concrete jungle.